Peace. Welcome to Mama Living Healthy. This is the new segment, So Boom. I'm Taime, and this is Asia.
Aloha.
And today we will be talking about land. Fruits, vegetables, everything of the nature. I saw your Instagram maybe like a few months ago, and I was just heavily inspired by how, you're working as a family unit to just create something beautiful, not just in one location, but in another location as well. And I just want to know what inspired you to move to Hawaii, and where were you originally?
We were originally from Detroit, so we're originally from Detroit, born and raised. And in about 2013, we kind of just got this awakening to where we just got really inspired to get back to nature, to get connected to our food, and we actually became raw vegan at that time. So we were consuming a lot of fruits and vegetables, and we just realized, like, to really be sustainable on this type of lifestyle, you need to be somewhere where you can have access to those things all year round. And so we looked into many different places. At that time, we actually worked for the airlines, so we got to experience other places and other climates and realize, like, hey, we don't have to be cold all year round. And we were like, if we can transfer to Hawaii, like, that's going to be the place. And so we kind of got yeses from everywhere. And, of course, everybody that wants to transfer to Hawaii. But realistically, for most people, it will be too expensive. But anyways, we went ahead and put in a transfer. And they wrote back to us and said, yeah, let's make it happen. And so at that time, we didn't have anything really in order. We didn't know where we were going to stay. We didn't know, where we would live, as far as like commuting and things like that. So in that moment, we had to become really creative, and we took a visit here. We took a visit 24 hours here, and we fell in love, and we knew, like, okay, this is home. And when we got back to Michigan, we just kind of sat down and thought of ways that we could make this actually accessible to us. Because we were looking online and, there are places, but it really was in our minds, from a certain perspective, it was expensive, So we were looking into room sharing, like sharing spaces with people and things like that. And at first I was like, I don't know, man. I'm moving halfway across the world, and you don't know somebody from anything. So, but he was like, no, he really had it in his spirit. He said, there's someone out there. I know there's someone out there that has more than that they need, and they're willing to share with us. We just have to make the connection. And so I said, okay. So he said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put together a letter. We're going to put together a letter on Craigslist, and we're going to tell who we are. We're going to tell them exactly what we're looking for, exactly what we're interested in, be very specific so we don't attract anything we don't want. And we're going to include pictures of us because, pictures bring a connection. When you can see someone, you can get a feel, you can get a vibe, and, so we thought that was important. So we made an ad, and we put it on Craigslist, exactly what we wanted, and we put pictures of us. And within a day, a 67-year-old lady, she reached out to us and said, I have 16 acres of land. My husband passed away a few years ago, and kind of like, I think it's waiting for y'all. So we made a trip, and we visited her, and we instantly had a connection. And 7 years later, here we are in the garden.
Wow, manifestation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was truly, it was powerful. We just knew, like, there's 7 billion people in this world. So you're only literally a few people away from someone actually making your dream come true. It just has to be known. You just have to put it out there. If no one knows, no one can help you. And when it comes from a real special, genuine, passionate place, it's like people are interested in help. Like, people want to help people that know what they want to do in life. It's just like, it just makes people fulfill their purpose. It's just like, if you knew someone had a vision and had a purpose, and you were in a position to help them, you would want to help them. So it's just, for us, it's always about putting our intentions out there, letting it be known what we're interested, what we're trying to do. And we know we're only a few people away from that actually happening.
Absolutely. Wow. Wonderful. My next question would be, did you naturally have a green thumb, or did you do some studying? Were there some books that you got into prior, or just kind of when you got out there?
Yeah, we don't have any agricultural experience. I mean, I guess I have a natural green thumb because when I came, it did come pretty easy to me, but we didn't, before moving here, we didn't have any agricultural experience. When we were in Detroit, we kind of got into the idea of gardening. I put some seeds out in my yard and I had a compost, but nothing came up. So, but when we got here, our mentor, the same 67-year-old woman that I mentioned, she basically mentored us for a whole year. And we just sat under her and she told us everything she knew. She's been gardening since she was a child, and her husband had a lettuce business here on the island before we came, and they were one of the largest providers on the island. And basically when he passed away, she had to basically close that down. So when she saw us and she saw how inspired we were, she was just like, look, like I can teach you guys, everything I know, and I can show you how to create a life off of this, how you can actually, make a business off of growing food. And we were like, that was never a thought in our mind. Like we just wanted to know how to grow our own food, but it was never a thought of, hey, let's make a business out of this. So, I didn't have a natural green thumb, but I did have a mentor. And basically I would suggest for anyone, whatever it is that you're into, is seek someone that has been doing it, because it's like a head start in a way. It's like basically where we are is 40 years ahead of where we would actually have been if we didn't have a mentor. And we wouldn't have been able to, learn how to farm and garden, even start a business, or purchase land of our own and know how to develop that. So mentorship is so major, so major.
Absolutely. So what tips would you give to someone who wants to live off grid, or in an area, I guess, where you would have your, the water tank and things like that? It seems more and more people are afraid of this aspect of life, and I think it's wonderful. Just the whole process of, collecting the water to composting to all things like that. It's just so foreign to, I guess, city dwellers. So,
right. You just have to, I first just say your mindset. I mean, if you're already interested, then that's good. But if you're not interested, it's just a shift in your mindset. You have to understand how these things can be valuable to you and why they're so valuable to you, forbid anything was to happen with anything in the world. It's like you have your own, you have access, how to catch your own water. You have solar energy to where you can power whatever it is that you need to power. You have access to be able to grow your own food. It's just basic skills that I feel like, we're missing out as a human species. A lot of us are missing out on. But I mean, within 3 months, you can have way more knowledge on it that you know. So again, I would suggest seeking mentorship, just connecting with people, YouTube, internet. I mean, there's endless resources. If you want to reach out to me, you can. But it's just to really connect with people that are already doing it. I would just say, like, even if you could visit some places, because that gives you inspiration on how it actually can be done.
Okay. I actually have a personal question.
Yeah.
I am terrified of insects. So
Okay.
I've been gardening on and off for, I want to say, maybe 5 years. And I do very well. I have a really good green thumb, but it just that comes to the whole insect thing. I've read a lot about using neem. I use it personally for flying insects. I'll burn the oil and things like that.
Okay.
That I've heard just spraying directly. But how often do you do that, and do you dilute the neem or?
Yeah, so with our neem, we spray that every 7 to 10 days, and it is pure just neem oil, but we do dilute it. So for our neem, it's a teaspoon of oil, for every quart of water. And then you also add a third of teaspoon of soap, because obviously water and oil don't mix. So a teaspoon of oil, a third of teaspoon of soap, and then water. And you mix those all together. And then you spray that every 7 to 10 days, because the neem being a natural pesticide, it's not going to last forever, so it needs to be present for it to actively work. So for us, it's every 7 to 10 days. It's not going to eliminate, especially where we live, being in the tropics, bugs are just a natural part of the experience of being out here, but everything else far outweighs the bugs here. But that really does help with keeping our population in check. And after you consistently do it, you will notice, just naturally there are less insects, especially that are affecting your garden. But I know people, even for us, we put, well, not in this neem tank, but because we don't have that problem, but some people use neem in their water tanks, their water systems, to help from keeping mosquitoes to lay larvae on there. So it's different other ways that you can use it other than spraying it on your produce, but that's definitely a way to help alleviate your bug issue.
Oh, okay. That sounds great. I'll definitely be writing that part down. I guess my last question would be, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me. You can find us on Instagram at Aina_Company. You can find us on YouTube at Aina_Company. You can contact me directly through email at info@ainacompany.com, or you can feel free to call or text us. My number is 808-464-1204. Oh, and our website, of course, www.ainacompany.com.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for just setting aside time to just talk with me about agriculture. And
yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah. I don't get that many people that reach out, to that. I get people through direct messages, but no one actually wants to do an interview. So this is actually I can count on the times in my hand that I've actually done an interview like this. So it's always fun. But it helps me grow and get, just comfortable with being interviewed. So I appreciate you, taking the time and being interested in what we got going on here.
Of course. I look forward to more of your videos. We've been watching them as a family. So
that's awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, we will be producing more and more, content related to just our lifestyle in general. And I hope that it can inspire people to, live out their dreams, whatever that may be.